I'm the champion, I can not be stopped. I can't stop, I can't. This is my world, it cannot be rocked. You can't rock my world, son.
Hello and welcome to the Triumphant Life Podcast. My name is Nick Trevelyan, your host, and I am joined with my buddy, my pal, trainer, Mr. Nate Paulman. How the heck are you, Nate?
Bro, I'm doing amazing. How are you?
Oh, dude, I'm so happy to have you here, guys. Welcome to episode 4. We're 4 into this thing already. But let me explain what's happening today, guys. This one is going to be one of those buckle up, grab a notepad, grab a pen or your iPhone or whatever, and let's get to work because Nate's actually brought some thunder. So the reason we have on Nate today is this. Is obviously in the first 3 episodes, we've been talking about how to live this triumphant life, right? And we are for achievers, excuse me. So we have people here that just want to do more. And we've been talking about how you can achieve whatever you want to and just get started in your fitness, just get started in your side hustle or your business. We have a lot of entrepreneurs on here, a lot of health people that are trying to get fit, get in shape, right? We have a lot of people that are trying to build the relationships up. And one of the questions that came up was, all right, cool, Nick, I'm hearing you. We believe it. We know we can get started. We heard your story about being paralyzed. We saw how far you've come in 9 months. Then we talked about baby steps, how to just get going. Guys, we've been really kind of just walking you through this whole process because we want you to have progress. And so the question came up of, well, Nick, that sounds like a lot, right? Like, to be there at a full-time job or start a side hustle and have this business and be there for my kids and all this stuff that goes into it, man, that's going to take a lot. And Nate, one of the things that you specialize in, and I honor you for and you're exceptional at, is some of the things that you've done in my life with my morning routines and my nighttime routines. And I know you teach this to a lot of people. So guys, Nate is actually the publisher of the book, Passport Fitness. It's an incredible book. He's the founder of Nate Training Systems. So what Nate does is he provides this content to business people like myself, entrepreneurs, achievers out there, whether that's for their businesses or for their health. Or think about this, for your relationships. Because if you go work 10 hours in a day, 8 hours in a day, when you come home, you're going to want to have that energy to be there and be that present spouse and build your relationships. You're going to want to be there as that father, as that mother, or if you are starting a side hustle, you're going to need the energy. So Nate, as you guys can tell, like, I'm just so excited. I'm just trying to get to you so we can get all of our listeners the content. Guys, before we go into what Nate has to say right now, which I'm so pumped about to be able to document this, if you guys like what you're hearing on the Triumphant Life podcast, share this with a friend, tag this with a friend. We all have that person out there that's like, man, we love you, and I know you're trying to make some changes. All we're trying to do here, guys, is just give some advice, give some fun, some tips, some stories, some strategies to help make your life better. And that's what this is all about. It's a free podcast just trying to provide as much good out there as we possibly can. And the stories we've had, Nate, after 3 episodes, man, I am blown away. The messages and comments I've been getting from people that I haven't even met yet, that I'm excited to meet one day, that even just one idea, my story, one strategy has impacted their life, which makes the whole podcast worth it and the time that we're spending. So Nate, dude, I'm so excited to unpack this with you today. So walk me through this, right? Let's say I want to go lose 25 pounds or, I want to make an extra 20 grand right now or pay off some debt, start a side hustle, whatever that is. You guys all have your goals and they're your goals, which is phenomenal. Nate, how would you tell that person to get started with those morning routines, which you specialize in?
Bro, that's an amazing question. But also, can I say that you're just fired up right now?
I really am, dude. I
love it.
Well, because I know the impact that you've made in my life and the people around us. So Nate and I are in a mastermind group together, and I've seen the impact you've made with some people there. And I know just that one idea that you're going to share right now is going to help so many people. So that's why I'm just like, let's go, So yeah. Plus coffee kicking, that helps too.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like so. A lot of what I do is helping people make more money, but I'm not like, I don't know real estate, Nick. I can't help you with your business. I don't know roofing. I can't help my roofing client make more money in his business via roofing. But what I can do is help people change their bodies, change their energy, change their mindset. That, like you said, makes you a better spouse. It makes you a better business owner. It makes you more energetic, more clarity, more focused. And that's so important. And I believe a lot of that starts not just in the morning routine, but the nighttime routine right before it too. So actually, can we start with the nighttime? Is that okay?
Oh, you're going to flip-flop me. Okay. So you're going nighttime first, dude. Hey, you're the expert in this area, man. You've changed my world with it. So talk to me about the nighttime routine then.
All right. So I think that, because I feel like, a lot of times if you go into the day, like the morning, there's a lot of good things you can do to start yourself off on a productive day. But if you take that next step and you do this the night before, you're actually going to compound and 10x just get a lot more out of your day because you're going to be prepared physically, mentally, emotionally. All right. So I don't know about you, but a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of business owners I talk to have that spinning gear, like just going wild at night, hard to sleep sometimes because you're so turned up, right?
Sometimes, every night. Yeah.
Every night. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a couple of things that I like to do before bed that are going to help you out, really get focused, really get honed in on what your mission is. Okay. And you can't be about your mission, Nick, if you're on Instagram, if you're scrolling social media mindlessly. You can't be about your mission if you're watching stupid videos on YouTube. You can't be about your mission if you're watching South Park on Netflix or whatever, okay? So first rule is always screens off 30 minutes before bed.
Okay.
Okay? That's just got to be a piece of your life, right? And I mean, obviously sometimes you got to take an email, you got to do a thing. Your rule should be 30 minutes before you go to bed, start this process, screens off, okay? It's pretty easy. Then what I like to do is have a piece of paper, just something easy. I like the line paper. I write a ton of notes for myself. I always have one of these just sitting by my bed, tons of notes, okay? And I write down my 3 goals for tomorrow, okay? What 3 things, if I accomplish only these 3 things tomorrow, would I be like, yes, that was a good day. I feel accomplished. I'm killing it.
So what you're also doing, though, is you're putting that out there to the universe, right? To let your brain, your reticular activator, go as you're sleeping, your subconscious mind on those 3 goals. Is that what you're doing?
And you said reticular activator, bro. That's so sick. Yes, exactly. So there's twofold, okay? So I believe the subconscious mind is so much more powerful than we give it credit for in our industry. Okay. So 2 things. Number 1, you're getting clarity on your goals. You're figuring out what 3 things. So like, okay, I need to hit my workout. I need to get back to these 3. I need to get these 3 contracts in, and I need to write a chapter for my book. If I finish those 3 things, I'm going to be pumped up. Okay. So now you've taken those from your brain, put them on a piece of paper, and then let your subconscious mold over those all night. How can I accomplish those things? So you wake up in the morning with a great idea for the next chapter of your book, for how to structure your contract that you hadn't even thought about before because you gave yourself the instructions.
Well, I love that. So if you kind of brain dump, right, and get them out there on paper, but then the very next morning as you wake up and you're having your morning cup of coffee, going through your morning routine, you're constantly thinking about those 3 things for the day. Plus you've already started with almost that victory coming into the new day. Now I see why you snuck this in first versus the morning. I gotcha.
Because it's so easy to get up and be like, I'm on Instagram. Oh, there's an email. I got to put out a fire. Someone's at the office. They're mad. Oh, I got to go over here and I got to do this thing. And then it's 11 o'clock and you've done 0 of the things that actually make a difference for your career and your life. Right?
Dude, you're dialed in, man. Wow. This is insane. Awesome.
Bro, I'm passionate about this. I think this is so important and this makes a huge difference for people. Okay. So then what I like to do is I like to, and I'll do this sometimes with my family. Sometimes I'll write it down. Sometimes I'll do this while I'm praying or whatever, but just be thankful. Exercise gratitude. What are 3 things from today that were awesome? Did you see a sunset? We live in Arizona, sunset capital of the world.
Yeah.
I've been a lot of places, and Arizona sunsets are amazing. What did you love about today? Was it an interaction with a client? Did you have a great workout? Did you see something beautiful? What are you thankful for? We get so caught up in like, let's get more, let's grab these things, let's buy a new iPhone, I need a Tesla. What are you grateful for? What's awesome in your life? Because it's awesome to be alive. We live in the U.S. That's the greatest country in the entire world. We get to wake up every morning. I got the use of both my legs. I feel amazing. I've got a family. There's so much amazing things happening for me. And it's easy to get caught up, especially in this time of consumerism, kind of December, the holidays, and what we don't have. The happiest people in the world are the people who can take that time and appreciate the things that they've been given, these gifts, these blessings. So take that time. Take just a couple minutes, write down 3 things that you're blessed with.
Dude, I'm so glad you brought that up for our listeners here on the podcast. I own 3 businesses. I own a very successful real estate company. I'm one of the top real estate agents in the state of Arizona. And I used to be on that phone checking email up until 10 o'clock at night, 10:30, waiting on a contract to come in, waiting on a new deal to come in. And what it does is it almost never let your brain shut down. And I noticed that my sleep patterns got all thrown out of whack. And through your advice, I actually took the gratitude exercise. And I started listing out everything that day that I was grateful for. And not just that day in my life, right? I'm grateful for my family and my health and for me having my legs back and things like that. And I remember this calmness started coming over me right at first as it would finally let me shut down. And instead of going to bed worried about that new contract, that new client, that email, or that one, you guys know you get that email at 9. Nothing good happens on email after 9:30 at night is what I've realized. Because if you're getting an email,
tweetable.
It's nobody telling me they love me. It's always a problem, right? And then I'm going to go to bed and right? I've been at a computer at midnight writing back all pissed off. But I found that by listing out all those things that I was grateful for, it almost started, I would go to bed on such a positive vibe, right? I was thinking about the things, not even surface level, the things that are deep that matter to me that I was working towards, right? It was like, wow, look at what I accomplished today, but I'm so grateful for these things because I'm blessing my family or I'm blessing these people or whatever that was. So I'm really glad you brought that out. What else, dude? What
I
else?
just want to say, I know you got 3 businesses and you're hugely successful and you're so energetic, but I also know this about you, Nick. You're hard on yourself, bro.
Yep.
You sometimes can't see how great you are and how amazing you're doing, and just be thankful for who you are at your core and all the work you do.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah. You spent, we all, entrepreneurs and stuff, we all spend time focusing on what we could have done better.
More drive, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I love that you said that. Okay. The next thing is, especially some people don't have a problem with sleeping. Some people do. I like to, if you do have a problem falling asleep, taking a sleep aid. I got a couple different ideas about that. So for people who have a hard time falling asleep, melatonin.
Okay.
For people who have a hard time staying asleep, magnesium. And if you don't want to take any supplements, then just doing a yoga pose, anything that's called like an inversion. So it doesn't have to be like a handstand, but an inversion is anytime your head is below your heart center. So a good example of that is child's pose. That's my favorite. Child's pose or down dog. And just doing some deep breathing into the diaphragm. Inhale to the diaphragm, exhale all the way out. That's so much more relaxing than, taking an Ambien. It's going to not have those negative side effects. Okay. So
in full disclosure to our listeners here, Nate actually put me through this exact routine. What was cool is I didn't know Nate was teaching this, guys. And so I had saw a Facebook Live class and I hopped on it. And Nate's like, oh, hey, Nick's on the class. I'm like, oh, what up, Nate? And I got on just to, kind of hear it at first. And maybe you guys have been on one of those Facebook Lives where it's kind of on in the background. Well, I'll tell you, after 3 minutes of hearing Nate's passion for this subject, I had closed all windows. You were like the big screen on my Mac, and I'm just like a little kid, just like, okay, Nate, what's next? And I'm literally posting comments. But guys, I actually did the magnesium and the melatonin, 2 very easy supplements on your body that I will tell you, my sleep difference was a black and white difference from before using those and after using those. And more than just the sleep, it's the clarity that you have when you wake up the next morning ready to conquer the day. So I'm glad you brought that up, man.
Yeah, you wake up feeling good, not like, oh, I wish I had 2 more minutes. And I got 2 more things for you. One is, I think that if you do have a hard time falling asleep, just grab a book of your choice, something that's not super exciting, something that's positive, either that deals with something that you're working on in your business or your life, or, something that's like a historical, I'm actually breaking that rule right now, reading a book about the Mexican mafia, and it's crazy, but also stay up too late because it's exciting. So don't do that. Do as I say, not what I'm doing right now. And then I got a quick pro tip for you. Have you ever done this, Nick, where you look at your clock and it's like 10:45 and you're like, okay, I gotta get to 4. So if I fall asleep,
you start counting it.
I can get 5 hours and 16 minutes of sleep. Okay. All right. Well, it's 10:50 now. I can get 5 hours and 10 minutes of sleep.
And then you negotiate with yourself on why you didn't need the full 7 hours or 8 hours.
Yeah, stop doing that. Don't ever do that again. Don't count. Don't look at the clock. It doesn't matter. And plus, when you wake up in the morning and you're like, well, I only got 3 hours and 16 minutes last night, and you don't have an option, by thinking that's a scarcity mindset. You're just going to throw yourself into more of a loop. If you wake up and you go, I got the sleep I got, I'm feeling pretty good, I'm ready to rock and roll, that's a positive mindset, and that you're not waking yourself up thinking like, I'm not enough, I don't have enough, it's not good enough. You put yourself in the alternate mindset, and then it's called placebo sleep. If you're like, I feel good, I got plenty of sleep, then you'll actually feel better throughout the day.
Interesting. So let me ask you a question on this. Loving the nighttime routine stuff, but with technology today, I think 99.9% of us use our alarms off of our phones. Any tips on that? Because obviously if the phone's right next to your bed, if you get a text, a tweet, a ding in the middle of the night, like I get an Instagram post at like 2:00 in the morning. I'm like, damn, dude, I got a text this morning at 4:45 a.m. Who the hell is texting me at 4:45? Well, it couldn't have been that important. Any tips on that with having your mobile phone near you, like put it on do not disturb? Any tips for that, Nate?
Yeah, actually, let's use this as a segue to jump into the AM routine, because I got the first one is, my first thing in the morning is don't snooze your alarm, okay? Easier said than done, but it's a lot easier to do. You take that phone, you put it across the room. That way when the alarm starts going off, that's a pain in the ass. You got to stand up and go turn it off. And if you want to come back to your bed, like it makes it just a lot harder. It's a barrier of entry to fall back asleep. So put that shit somewhere else, put it somewhere else, or put it on like everything silent mode, between the hours of 10 and 6 or whatever.
I love that. Okay.
Sleep is. Okay. All right. Can we get a little more into the AM routine now?
Dude, so we put a bow on the nighttime, right? So
yeah, let's tie that up, wrap it up.
Like a little bit in summary, dude. I love the idea of setting your 3 goals for the next day. One of the things that I started doing as well that I really enjoy is my 3 big victories for that day. On top of what I was grateful for is what did I accomplish that day? And it could be more than 3. And I'll tell you this, being an entrepreneur, a lot of people on this call we always don't think that we're moving fast enough. And, we're always comparing ourselves to somebody else. And I found, dude, I've listed out one day where I did like 35 things. And I looked down like, dude, are you kidding me? That's a good point. I finished that website. I recorded that video, right? I called that client. We sent out these mailers. And looking back, I was like, look at what I did today, And so I like working that in as well. Your big goals for the next day. And then obviously I think finishing on an attitude of gratitude is the biggest thing you absolutely could do.
Yeah. And someone like you, Nick, who wears a lot of different hats, it's easy to kind of forget what you did because you're like, oh, I fixed that website. I did this email responder. I tweaked this ad. I uploaded a video. I edited this piece. Like you're wearing like 9 or 10 different hats at any given time. So if you don't actually come back and reflect on those victories, it's kind of sometimes you can just brush your skills and like how excellent you actually are at your job under the rug. And it's important to appreciate yourself.
Well, also though, I think if you're on this call too, and you maybe you just started your new business on the side, or maybe you're just starting to try to be, work on your relationships, or maybe you just started at the gym. I think even reflecting, if that list isn't 30 things long, but it was, wow, I went for a walk around the neighborhood today. Mm-hmm. Or, you know what, I didn't eat fast food the whole day. And I think rewarding yourself for that and knowing that you did that, because what I personally teach and feel is that day is going to turn into a week, that week into a month, and almost reflecting on, wow, I never could run a mile before. And yeah, it might have taken me 15 minutes, but I ran a mile today. I'll never forget this, dude. After my surgery, I was doing my rehab and stuff, and I had rode a bike at the gym. It was the first time I'd walked into a gym. And dude, I think I rode like 2 miles on a bike for like 12 minutes. And for me, I might have been Rocky running up the steps in Philly, dude. Like I jumped off the bike and I'm like, woo! People are looking at me like, dude, this kid just got on the bike. He's barely broke a sweat. But for me, it was like the biggest hurdle ever because it was a building block. So I think even reflecting on, even if you didn't do a ton of stuff, maybe you just told your spouse you loved them that day. Or you know what, maybe there was no phones at dinner that night and you got rid of all the tablets and all the phones and you went and just loved on your kids for an hour. I think that in itself, just looking at those victories could be huge for you too and put you in such a positive mental state before you go to bed.
Totally.
Cool. Let's move on to tomorrow morning. Let's go to the mornings now.
All right. So the first thing is WTFU.
Whoa. Dude, hey, this is a PG-13 show. Here, Nate.
Oh, man, I've been saying a lot of bad stuff already.
No, episode 1, we actually did drop. We were so excited, dude. I think there was like 15 F-bombs in it. We obviously toned up. But, Nate, what are you talking about, dude? You're saying F-U over here.
I said WTFU. Wake the heck up.
Ah, I gotcha.
That's the don't snooze alarm piece, okay? The second thing is get some water in you, bro. We spend all night breathing out moist air. We wake up dehydrated. It's just kind of how it is, And I don't know if you know this or not, Nick, but the way we burn fat is not in the gym. It's not on the treadmill, and it's not when we're eating kale salads. It's at night when we're breathing out moist air. That's when their body has a chance to metabolize all the fat that we burn.
Interesting.
In the day. Yep, and then you actually exhale it. That's how the fat goes. You exhale it. And you know what you can't do? You can't exhale fat as much if you're not hydrated at all.
Never heard, dude. I'm learning something new and I'm on the podcast with you. This is excellent, bro.
Yeah, bro. Well, I'm glad to bring some value. So you've got to get hydrated. So first thing in the morning, the first thing you're going to go do is you're going to grab at least 24 ounces of water and you're going to crush it.
He's going all 24 right now. You guys, we're on video, but Nate, I think, just chugged like 20 ounces of water.
Yeah, I feel great now.
There you go.
So hydration plays an has an important impact on your strength levels too. If you're dehydrated by as much as a 3% even, which is a pretty big amount, your strength levels will be down like 30%. Ridiculous.
Interesting.
Yeah. So water's gonna, like, if you're not hydrated, you're not gonna get enough energy from your coffee. You're not gonna burn as much fat. You're not gonna feel as much energy. Your joints in your back is gonna hurt, okay, because you don't have as much lubrication through those joints. This is all good. There's nothing better than waking up and having a big glass of water to start your day. The best thing you can do. Then you can always upgrade that if you put a little bit of squeeze of like a half a lemon in there, maybe a little apple cider vinegar. Those things will both have good effects on your stomach and your digestion. But let's not get complicated. Let's just get that water in us. Yep. And then the third thing I want you to do is get some D.
Okay.
You got to get the D, Nick.
Please explain, Nate.
Vitamin D, in the Pacific Northwest up in Seattle, doctors don't even test for vitamin D deficiency anymore because they're just like, yes, you have vitamin D deficiency.
They just know you have it. Got it.
Yeah. And I mean, we live in Arizona, so there's a lot more sun. But when was the last time you spent 10 minutes outside with your shirt off on purpose? Most of us don't. Most of us go house to car to office to car to house. We don't go outside. So vitamin D is not necessarily just a vitamin. It's more of a hormone than a vitamin. So it has a really high impact on your immune system, on your metabolism, on your energy levels. So if you start off the day with 5,000 IUs, IU stands for international units. It's basically like the units that we measure vitamin D in. So I use this stuff called D-emulsion. It's liquid drops. It's easy, it's fast, goes on my tongue, boom, feels good. And then I actually use that as a trigger for me to be like, this is something that's going to give me energy. It's going to help me feel good. It's going to boost my immune system. I have that intention when I take it, and it does. That's the thing about like having kind of, I'll call them talismans, triggers. Anything where you take that magnesium at night, you take that vitamin D in the morning, and you give it an intention. You say, I'm so thankful that this is going to give me the energy that I need for the day. Boom, you take that, and it works.
Dude, I love that. So you're almost being very intentional with what you're doing, but almost like, hey, you're fueling yourself to live that triumphant life, right? To be able to be an achiever or be healthy or be more present. I'm really loving what you're saying right now. And it's funny you mentioned the vitamin D. So I'm up north, about 3.5 hours north of Phoenix, in the snow at a cabin. And my whole vitamin D morning routine is gone because it's freezing up here, dude. It's like 20 degrees in the morning. And so normally I would go outside and stand in the sunshine back in Phoenix for, 10, 15 minutes. And I can tell something's been off. And it's funny you say that because even this morning I took my dog for a quick walk. I'm shaking in there, but I'm bundled up in a beanie and a jacket, and I'm lacking that vitamin D. So I'm going to have to get me some supplements right now, get that D in me. That's right.
And then the next one I'll go is I'll feel the burn is the next thing I like to do in the morning. So what'll happen is kind of end people's general daily routine. Here's what it looks like. You wake up, you stagger over to the coffee pot, you put the coffee on, you grab your phone, you look at Instagram, you look at your emails, whatever else, okay? So what I would encourage you to do instead, get the water, get the vitamin D, now throw your coffee on, okay? And then during the time while you're letting your coffee brew or you're making your breakfast, give yourself a 10-minute workout. Something that's either like, depending on how you're feeling, yoga flow, something light, get you warmed up. Maybe use your suspension trainer, just bust out some rows and some push-ups. Or if you're like a lot of people who are in my Optimal Self fitness group, what we have is a challenge going on right now, just doing 50 push-ups a day, all through December, okay? So drop on the ground, give me 50, okay?
Yeah, so you do 50 push-ups right as the coffee's making, and so kind of get some oxygen flowing, get your body moving a little bit, just kind of wake you up.
Yeah, and if you're, especially for dudes, you feel great. You get a little chest pump, a little arm pump.
A little swell going?
Yeah. Like,
here's a fun idea for you on this one. I actually really enjoy doing this one because I heard you mention this. And I'm like, okay, what am I going to do in the morning? Some pop jacks, some jumpy jacks, whatever. And my intention's to be closer with my puppy in the mornings. And so what I did was, and if you guys have kids, you could do this as well, is I grab my dog and I start playing with them and like just messing with them, like doing curls. I'll push them up over my head and kind of play with them. And if you got a little kid, grab them and kind of twirl them around a little bit and just think about that moment for them. And I know he loves it because I'll go play with them a little bit, get him riled up, and I'm moving, kind of wrestling with him. At the same time, I'm getting my body going and he's getting that dad attention, right? And so if one of your big goals as you are busy with your businesses or your career to be more present with your family, that might be a quick little 10-minute moment that is so impactful before the kids run out for school. Grab them and throw them up, kind of play with them a little bit, and you kind of kill two birds with one stone.
That's a great call. Love that. So I think I like that you want to be closer with your puppy Teddy, but you're actually physically becoming closer with him by holding him tight, doing squats.
Well, it's funny because awesome. I think we get so caught up in the day ahead, right? Like, and I'll rush around and I'm showering, getting ready. And sometimes I hate to say this, and maybe you're like me, is I almost feel like sometimes he is an afterthought. I don't have any kids, so he's like a son to me. And I wanted to really start my day on that type of a positive vibe with him. And it's been really, really refreshing to have that moment with him in the mornings. And it's funny, you can see him kind of respond because he knows when dad gets up, it's time to play, play with the ball or play with dad. And I've noticed too, if I do push-ups, maybe you guys have pups too, he runs underneath me and does like push-ups. Like I'll like push up to him. It's kind of funny actually. So.
Awesome. So
cool.
the last piece of my morning routine that I have my clients do, I think is just really life-changing, is I call it a motivation injection. Okay, just because it sounds cool. But basically, this is like find a podcast. There's one called The Triumphant Life that I think is just mind-blowing.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, you should. I'll introduce the host sometime. He's very handsome.
I hear the host has a face for radio.
Oh man, yeah. But find a podcast you like. Find a video on YouTube that pumps you up. Read from a book like The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino, one of Zig Ziglar's books. John C. Maxwell. Anyone who pumps you up, gets you motivated, makes you feel like, kind of puts you in the right mindset for the day ahead that you want to have. Read that book. Listen to their podcast. Everyone's got a podcast now. Just find one that you really vibe with and listen to that. Or what I like to do is I like to listen to some songs that pump me up. Okay.
Yeah.
I got a whole list of rap hip hop that I love. I met a guy this weekend calls himself Brother James, Brotha James. You can find him on Spotify. He's got just all sorts of motivational songs. They're all positive message, uplifting stuff you can listen to. They kind of set your tone for the day, your intentions.
The one I use on this is an app called Motivate. Actually, it's actually word is Motivate, and there's a website called Motivate. And what you get is you get 5 daily videos, and each video is about 3 to 5 minutes long. And I found just getting in a couple of videos in the morning just inspires me, right? I mean, it has everybody on there. I mean, I've heard Gary Vee, I've heard Tony Robbins, Les Brown. I mean, Les Brown gets you going in the morning, man. Trust me. A little Les Brown, woo, I'm good to go. And they drop on 5 free videos to your phone every single morning. I've given this app out to hundreds of people as a recommendation. So guys on the call right now on the podcast, highly recommend downloading the Motivate app for that.
That's awesome. Yeah, but find something that works for you. Don't
sure.
If you don't like videos, don't do the videos. Go to a podcast. You don't like podcasts, listen to music. Find whatever that works for you that gets you feeling good and rock and roll with that, So these are my big five. And I take a lot from Hal Elrod's Miracle Morning Routine called the Lifesavers.
Yeah.
Have you heard of those?
Yeah.
Okay, so he does a couple different things that are a little different. Doesn't necessarily have the water in there, the vitamin D, but he starts off, so it's SAVERS, it's the acronym. So S stands for silence. So that can be motivation or meditation, prayer, deep breathing, whatever that is for you. Then A is affirmations. So talking, giving yourself some encouraging words to help you achieve your goals, overcome your fears, etc. The V is visualization. So imagine yourself doing the thing that you want to do. So for me, I've had a really specific visualization recently of this big goal I set for 2019. And I try to go through this scenario once or twice every day where I imagine what's happening, my goal kind of coming true. And I imagine, okay, think what else is happening in the room? What color, what clothes am I wearing? What else is going on? Who's there? What am I smelling? I really try to get deep with this visualization, so that way I can actually manifest that, and like you said with the reticular activator, now if I'm telling my brain this is the direction we're going, it's going to give me the opportunities that match up with that goal, that visualization.
Throughout the day, you're going to be looking for it. Well, not necessarily looking for them, your subconscious looking for them. As you're going through your life, you might be able to notice those types of things. Love that. Yeah. Love that.
I mean, not me, this is Hal. So visualization. The third one is E, exercise. So same there. Then he's got R and S, the reading, so kind of the inject motivation, but he generally talks about filling your brain with positive thoughts from a book. And then scribing or journaling is the S. So SAVERS is the acronym there. And I mean, I'm cool, but Hal Elrod is the man, obviously, and he's got a whole movement behind the Miracle Morning book. So yeah, either one of these is great, but figuring out whatever the routine is that works for you, that you like the best. So maybe you don't do your exercise in the morning, you do it at a different time, or maybe you add in the scribing and the affirmations rather than, rather than exactly what I've laid out. But take the paradigm that I've given you and add to that, take from it, do what you need to do to create a standard operating morning routine that works for you and that helps you feel the way you want to feel during the day.
I love that, dude. Guys, that book, I've read that thing so many times. I absolutely love it. It's The Miracle Morning. I'd grab that on Amazon. And I know I have a lot of real estate agents on today's podcast. He actually wrote one for real estate agents as well. So it's The Miracle Morning for real estate agents. And so I highly recommend getting those guys on Amazon, and it'll be at your house in 2 days, right? Thank you, Amazon.
I'm reading Miracle Morning for Millionaires right now as well.
Oh, I like that one. I got to get that one next, man.
Yeah.
So it's great tips though. But I think having that routine to fall back on in the morning and in the nighttime, like you said, I think the word you used a few times is intention, and you're intentionally doing some things. But I think, we have so many different types of people here on the podcast. And this is why I love what we're doing is we're not a one size fits all, right? Is obviously, Nate, you're a personal trainer. You're really into fitness. I'm really into real estate and flipping homes. We have motivational coaches on here. We have people just, that are starting a side business. We have real estate agents trying to grow their business. We have mothers trying to be a better mother, getting better shape. It doesn't matter. But I think having those intentions at night, I think it helps so many different parts of your goals. And let me explain what I mean here is, on top of the fitness thing, you just gave us all the ideas to metabolize and lose weight during the evening, which is great. What if your intention was to be closer with your spouse? If you have that phone off 30 minutes prior to bed, you're not sitting there streaming Netflix, right? You might roll over and talk to your spouse for a little bit and ask them how they're doing, or see what they're reading, or maybe read a book together. You might run in and give the kids a kiss on the forehead one more time before bed, or even in the mornings. I think there's so many things that you can do by being intentional in the morning and making your lady a cup of coffee while you're up doing your push-ups, or there's so many different things that you can do. And that's why I was so excited you brought this up, because I think what you teach, Nate, spans to so many different people here that are listening to the Triumphant Life that just want to achieve more and do better and feel better and just have a better lifestyle,
Yeah, dude. But I love what you said about, like, if you wanted to be a better spouse. If you set that intention, though, if you have the intention, I want to be a better spouse, then you actually start to think of ways to do that. That becomes a focus for you. So like you said, you go to pour yourself a cup of coffee, you're like, oh, make the second cup of coffee over here. Just little things,
right.
And that adds up, right? And like, I think I heard an analogy about a whitewater rafting instructor, and he's taking these kids down this river, and I don't know if it's an analogy or if it's a real story. He's taking these kids down the river, and it's a real stormy day. The rapids are bigger than normal. He's like, guys, what you got to do is whenever I say, look at something, I want you to look at that. I want you to only paddle towards that. I don't want you to look at the rocks on the left. I don't want you to look at the rocks on the right. I want you to look where I'm pointing and telling you to go, and I want you to only paddle in that direction. So the point there is that wherever our intentions are, wherever we're setting our attentions, that's the direction we're heading in. If you're looking at these rocks on the left and right, I'm so stressed. My business is doing this. I don't have any energy. This person is mean. Then that's where our attention and our energy goes. If we spend it on these negative things. But if your intention is, I want to be a great husband and a great spouse, I'm focusing on this piece of my business, I have a great fitness habit that I'm engaged in, and that's where your focus is, that's what you do. That's what you get,
Well, I'm so glad you brought that up, dude. And this is one of the things that we really believe in here at the Triumphant Life is that balance. I get you're going to get out of whack sometimes, and you're going to have to crush a 15-hour day at the office, an 80-hour weeks. Guys, I've been there 7 days a week, sleeping in the office. I know what that's like. But I also know when you get out of whack, whether that's with your health, right, or with your relationships, you're not spending time. And really what I'm excited you brought this up is I think you can almost start working on trying to balance or give focus to all those different areas that mean as much as they do to you. Those are areas that you want to support and you want to grow in. And I think even just with a simple nighttime routine and a morning routine, I think you can actually start accomplishing that with little things.
Oh, absolutely.
And so guys, maybe you're listening to this right now going, hey man, that's actually a really good point. I really need to be better about that. Don't beat yourself up. Guys, I personally had to come to Nate, month and a half, 2 months ago, and ask him for help. I said, Nate, I'm struggling with this. I'm so stressed with my businesses. I'm trying to do 95 different things at once. I'm not sleeping at night. I need help. And we actually sat down and Nate gave me the exact plan that he just rolled out to you guys. And so if you haven't done well on this in the past, guys, that's okay, right? The best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. Second best time is today, right? Right today. And so as you're listening to this, don't put off till Monday. Don't put off till the new year or next month. Guys, you can literally follow this simple formula tonight. All you need is a scratch piece of paper, a notepad on your phone, list out what you accomplished today and what you're grateful for, and turn off your phone, turn off Netflix 30 minutes before bed. You can start today.
Ooh, that's a mic drop, bro. I wish you were talking into a microphone so you could have actually dropped it just then because.
Well, I don't want to drop the mic because then it would have rattled for everybody listening. But that's kind of what we've covered over the past few episodes is I really feel that we put off till tomorrow that we can easily accomplish today. And guys, maybe this was just a word of encouragement for you to go, you know what, I knew about my morning routines and I really got to get back to those, or I really should be better with my water. That's why we're doing this, guys, just to give you some ideas, some tips, some strategies, and some stories here, just to help benefit your life and let you achieve in any area that you want. That's what we're all about here at the Triumphant Life. So, Nate, dude,
Can I say though, real quick, going back to what you just said, some people put off till tomorrow what we could accomplish today. Some people put off till January what they could start doing right now.
Exactly.
You ever heard of that? You ever heard anyone doing that?
Dude, I love what you're saying, man. I really, really do. And I think there's so much with that is the momentum that you could build just after a couple days by waking up earlier, feeling better, hydrating more. I get excited because I can see the momentum. An example is one of Nate's students here that I personally know and personally coach. He runs a roofing business. And I know just by following some simple routines that Nate's given him, I mean, he's lost, 10, 12?
13 pounds in 5 weeks.
Right, but I know he's cut out energy drinks. He's cut out a lot of fast food. He feels just better by a few simple tweaks. And that's the thing, guys, is it's not this monumental thing like you need to climb Mount Everest tomorrow. You just need to start with a couple little things today and let those little things become habits for you that build up to add to your lifestyle. And that's, again, why I wanted Nate on today's call is, we've been talking in so many ideas. This is actual tactical stuff that you can do on a daily basis to add more energy, to feel better, to just be more present, be more clear, be more intentional, be more grateful. And Nate, you are the freaking man. So Nate, if somebody wanted to get a hold of you, homeboy, how do they follow you? I know I follow you. You're one of my coaches, dude. How can somebody get a hold of Nate the Great Palmer?
All right, I'll give you some links so you can post them. But I'm on Instagram, N8 Training. I'm on Facebook, N8 Training Systems. My website is n8trainingsystems.com. I love friending people on Facebook, though. You can find me, Nate Palmer. I just put out that $1 million meal plan. Kind of goes along with a lot of these like these techniques that we were talking about in terms of the AM and PM routine, as well as the way to structure your day in terms of eating to get to have the energy you need to make a big difference. So, bro, thank you so much for having me on here. It's such a pleasure.
Man. Guys, anybody out there in podcast land listening to this right now, follow Nate on Facebook. He's edutainment, let's just say that. He's educational and he's entertaining as hell. You might see some goofy photos of Nate doing some crazy stuff, but that makes you who you are and that makes you such an approachable coach. And that's why you're one of my coaches. And I love you so much, man. And you made a huge impact in a lot of people's lives. So follow Nate wherever you can. I'll have all the links here on the description of the podcast. I'm also going to have the links to the Miracle Morning book and then finally to that Motivate app, because I think all those, it's not a one size fits all. Everybody's got something that they're going to gravitate towards. Just get the resources there. And that's why we're doing this, just to help benefit your life. So Nate, any final thoughts for our listeners and viewers here?
Bro, can I leave you with a final thought that I got from my boy, Terrence Berner? Terrence, the man Berner.
Yeah.
He said to me, and this just hits so hard, kind of with that theme of that we were talking about, that you and Andrew talked about on that second episode, which was bomb, by the way. If you haven't had a chance to listen to that, the second episode on the Triumphant Life, you've got to go listen to that. But Terrence said something that was hit so hard. He said, if you do what everyone else does, if you cycle with the masses, the average people, you're going to get average results. If your routine includes the New Year's resolution, going back to the gym in September, you're going to go and you're going to follow that law of averages. You're going to do exactly what everyone else does. So don't wait. Don't wait till December. Don't wait till January. Don't wait till Monday. Don't wait till tomorrow. Start right now. Whatever you're doing, whatever your goal is, start right now. Just do something small, but get that momentum going, just like you said, Nick.
Guys, I don't think there's a better way to end than on those words right there. So I won't say much. Just wanted to thank you guys for supporting us here at the Triumphant Life podcast. Like I said, if something Nate said or I said just resonated with you, or you have a friend or family member that you think would benefit from this message right there, that's out there hustling, send them this show, guys. It's free. All they have to do is listen to it. Have them friend Nate or myself on Facebook. We just want to give as much as we can to people that want more to life. And that's really what the mission here at the Triumphant Life is, guys, is to be able to provide you some ideas, some tips, some strategies to the achievers of the world, the people that want more out of life. We know that there are 1,440 minutes in every single day, Nate. We know that. And here at the Triumphant Life, we want to suck the juice out of every single minute that God gives us, dude. Boom. Awesome, guys. Nate, thank you so much for being on, dude. This has been an absolute blessing. Guys, I cannot wait to see you on episode 5. And get out there, live that triumphant life, and we will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
This is my world, it cannot be right. You can't rock my world, son. Took a lot of work just to reach the top.